Hello Internet, welcome to PowerUpRez. My name is David Torres, or Rez, and today I'm going to review a bundle that has been out for a while now. In fact, the game's sequel has already been released. You may have guessed it from the thumbnail. It is the Xbox One S with Forza Horizon 3 and Forza Horizon Hot Wheels expansion. First, what comes in the box? Well, you get the white Xbox One S console. And this console has 500 gigabytes, which is plenty of space for games, even though I wish it was the 1 terabyte. Of course, you get an HDMI cable, the white wireless controller, 2 AA batteries by Duracell, the chat headset, 1 month of Xbox Live, a 14-day trial of Xbox Game Pass, the digital download of Forza Horizon 3 and Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels expansion. So just first want to talk about the console itself, which I do believe we got it on, I believe it was a Black Friday sale for about $280. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what we got it for. Overall, I think it is a pretty good console. I've played the original Xbox, the original 360, the 360S, and now the Xbox One S. And I can honestly say if you've played the 360, you'll feel right at home with the One S. The menu is set up similar enough that you would not get lost in it. The controller is almost completely identical. And the only real difference is that the start button has been replaced with the menu button, which has 3 bars on it. And also the back button has been replaced with the view button, which usually pulls up like a secondary menu. Overall, I have been enjoying this console. At this time, it does not come with the Kinect. I do believe that Microsoft had pretty much killed off the Kinect by the time this bundle came out, just because of different issues that it was causing the system and that people were having with it, and it just wasn't getting much support. So would I recommend getting the Xbox One S? Well, the answer is yes, I definitely would recommend it, even though I would suggest that if you have the money to go ahead and get the One X, just because of the higher stats and more memory that comes with it. Now, one thing also to remember, if you do want to do multiplayer, you do have to get Xbox Live and then the chat headset that comes with the console. Once you handle it, you'll notice that it's actually put together fairly cheaply and breaks easily. So I would actually recommend upgrading to a third-party headset if you're going to be doing the Xbox Live and doing live chatting with people as you play against them or play with them. But the chat headset that it comes with is good for at least getting started. Now let's talk a little bit about Forza Horizon 3 and the Hot Wheels expansion. And I'm going to be completely honest, this is the first Forza Horizon game that I ever played. When the first Forza Horizon game came out, I actually thought it was an expansion to Forza Motorsports. So I gotta admit, though, that I was very surprised with how well this game was put together. It's not quite like Forza Motorsport in that Forza Motorsport is more simulation, and this is set up more arcade style of racing, which would be the same as like a Cruisin' USA or the Need for Speed video games. So I really did enjoyed every last bit of it. And just for notice that some spoiler alerts. If this game has been out for a while, so if you haven't played it yet, just know going ahead there's going to be some spoilers with this game. Now, before the game gets started, one thing I really appreciate just overall with Forza is that it is very accessible for people. And what I mean by that is, first of all, when this game starts, before you actually get into the game, while it's still doing the opening cutscene, it allows you to get a feel for the game. So it puts you in the Lamborghini Centenario, which is, of course, a supercar. You get to learn the physics of the game, drive it around on the roads. Later, it'll switch you over to an off-road truck, so you get used to how driving off-road in the game works. You get used to the physics, braking, the handling, and all that. Once you set up your profile, and to be honest, I wish you could alter your profile a bit, but not profile, but the avatar. You can alter the avatar, but you can't. Then it throws you straight into the game with this one crazy race. And it's crazy, it's fun, it's fast, and you're racing a Jeep Wrangler that is dangling from a helicopter. So you're essentially racing the helicopter. And there's other crazy races like that you have to participate in and beat. Now, of course, there are great graphics coming since it is on the Xbox One S. And it takes place in the Australia, excuse me. So there's great visuals of the Australian outback and other beautiful locales from Australia. You also get access to over 350 different vehicles, one of which is actually the Warthog from Halo, except there's no rocket launcher on the back of it. And there's just some crazy achievements. For instance, you can drive every single road in the game, and when you complete the achievements, it shows you how the percentage of people who have actually completed that very same achievement. So that's one cool thing about it as well. And lastly, there are the barn finds, which are very rare vehicles that you're given a general location. You have to find a barn. Once you do, you basically unlock the vehicle. Most of them are slower vehicles, underpowered, but of course you can soup them up to actually be competitive in the game. Now here's some cars that I'm glad was included in the game, one of which is the Lamborghini Reventon, the Pontiac GTO Judge, the Mazda Speed 3, and the reason for the Mazda Speed 3 is just because I used to own a Mazda Speed, or not Mazda Speed 3, but a Mazda 3, and it basically had the Mazda Speed kit on it, so it had the spoiler, the fascia, and all that, the bumpers. The 1977 Pontiac Trans Am from Smoking the Bandit, a Bugatti Veyron, the Enzo Ferrari, the van from the A-Team TV show, and the Plymouth Cuda, which is probably one of the prettiest vehicles that Plymouth ever came out with, I think. Here's a list of some cars that I felt like should have been in the game, or at least that I wish would be in future installments of the game. The DMC DeLorean, which of course is in Forza Motorsport, but I didn't see it in the Horizon game. The Dodge Stealth, which was a fun car to drive. I've driven them before, and like I said, it's just really fun. Also, the twin of the Dodge Stealth, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. Would love to see that car in the Forza Horizons as well. The rest of the cars that I wish that were in this game, or at least would be put in this game or future installments, are all Pontiacs. The Pontiac Fiero. Now, this car, I may be wrong, but I do believe it is the only mid-engine mass-produced car made in America. At the very least, within the past like 50 to 70 or 80 years. So I feel like it should actually be in, or have a place in video games, which it has actually very rarely been in. Also, the Pontiac Grand Am, again, basically just a vehicle that I used to own and had fun driving, even though the engine is a little bit underpowered, but you can still have fun driving that car. Pontiac Solstice, which was America's return into the roadsters. Also, the Pontiac Vibe, which brought back the 5-door wagon or hatchbacks, and the Pontiac Aztec. So many people actually don't care for the Aztec. Again, I've owned one and I actually enjoyed it. The Aztec brought in the CUV. It was one of the very first CUVs out there, and it had an all-wheel rally edition, which actually was a pretty good vehicle. And if you think that it just may be too ugly or something to put in a game like this, I would suggest that we can make a bundle, throw in the Honda Element and Ridgeline in there as well. So we have like the ugly vehicle expansion or something like that. Now let's focus on the Hot Wheels. So one thing I really liked is that it had real Hot Wheel cars in it, ones that you could actually buy the toys of. It had the authentic tracks. Again, you could buy these tracks and build them in your house and play with them. Had the little launch pads, so when you drove over those, it actually launched you down the track and usually straight into the loop-de-loops. There's also a T-Rex, and there is an actual track with the T-Rex that tries to chomp on the cars as they go through the track. And he does the same thing. He tries to chomp on you. There's also a little hoop that is inflamed that you can fly through. One thing I really didn't care for is that it's too easy to fall off the tracks. A lot of the tracks just don't have the rails, or is just easy to flip over them. And it did add an additional barn find. So here is the car on the cover that I actually had the toy of it. The one I had was silver, so I painted the one I have in the game silver as well to match it. So I always thought that was pretty cool that you can actually drive or race with the cars or the toys that you can collect. So question is, would I recommend purchasing the Hot Wheels expansion or Forza Horizon 3 overall? And I would say yes. It was a very fun game. You may wonder, should you pick up Horizon 3 or go ahead with the new Horizon 4? Personally, I would say, hey, why not pick up both? I mean, the accessibility in both of them is very well. I've played the demo of Forza Horizon 4, and it was very similar to 3. Both very fun games. There's great cars. And if you can afford it, like I said, pick up both. But if you can only pick up one, the Forza Horizon 4 is $60 to $100, depending on which edition you get. And then Forza Horizon 3 right now is between $40 and $80. So I'd like to ask you a simple question. Would you like to show support for this channel, PowerUpRez? Well, you can do so by liking this video and clicking the like button. And also, if you want, you can subscribe. And of course, hit the little bell so that you can be notified whenever new videos drop. And also, we have recently joined Patreon as well. So all the links will be in below in the description. Now you may be wondering, what is Patreon? Well, basically, Patreon is a service where people who enjoy different creators' videos and other things can basically pledge as little as $1 a month to support that creator. And the money goes to the creators. There is a percentage that goes to Patreon themselves, but it's very small. And this allows the creators to be able to continue to upgrade their equipment, make better videos, write better content, and it also encourages interaction between the creators and the patrons who support them. So if you want to join PowerUpRez's Patreon page, or at least view it, again, the link is in the description below. For as little as $2 a month, you can get different thank you gifts. These are things like access to polls, exclusive content that will only be available to patrons of PowerUpRez, as well as some free merchandise once we do get it developed. All right, well, this is pretty much going to be it for me. I just want to thank everyone for watching the video, and those of you who decide to support PowerUpRez channel, like I say, thank you, and have a good one. Rez out.